Hello folks, and welcome to today's Sunday stream. It is December 1st, 2024. I'm glad to be here, happy that you're here too. I've had a lot of people ask me about negative number trances, or not just that, I mean also that, but like really deep trances. So if you're a patron, you're going to notice that there are a lot of trances in December that relate to that, and I thought I'd do a live one because why not? Also, I had somebody ask me about the shiny tube of lip stuff that I used last time as a focus. I used two different ones. I think I actually used these two. So this one, as you can see, the label has been removed from, but it's got a rounded-ish edge, and this one is pretty straight. I mean, this is pretty spectacularly beautiful. So I knew what this one was because it was printed on, and I'm pretty sure this one had like a sticky label as opposed to being printed on, and they drive me crazy, so I always remove them. But you can sort of see it a little bit, and I just thought I'd show you even better that this is like, oops, maybe not better. It's like glittery. Oh, there you go. It's like glitter, gold glitter, and it smells yummy. And I don't know what the brand is. That was the question, like, what's the brand of this? I have no idea. I'm pretty sure I got it at the same place I got this one, which is Bath and Body Works. Yeah, because this is the brand that they sell, I think. But anyway, this one, it's pretty old. It's still great. It smells and tastes yummy. So I'm glad you all enjoyed the little bit of shine that I had. So anyway, I don't know the brand, but this is what the tube looks like. It's delicious. Also, so is this one. This is the one I have over the top of the stuff I have on my lip, color stuff I have on my lips. So if you wanted to know, now you know. I also have this sweater on that my mother knitted for me. I live in Florida, so I don't wear it very much, but it's winter here, and I was just like admiring what a nice job she did. Like, this collar is like super soft. I think it's actually wool, but the collar itself is like, oh, it's really, really nice for being near your neck, you know, and then the rest of it is just a deeper blue. Anyway, so thanks, Mom. All right. Negative numbers. They're pretty good, right? Like, the idea of a negative number in trance was one of those things that I was always like, kind of, is it helpful? Is it good? Do people like it? I don't even know. But as it turns out, people do like them. They tend to take people very deeply in trance, and that's pretty good. Yeah, somebody was asking for help with anxiety last time, and I was suggesting that they could use the trance that we did last week, the NLP technique, eliminating limiting beliefs, to get rid of some of that. But we could probably do a little bit more. I don't want to get too therapy here, because I'd rather do recreational stuff as opposed to therapeutic stuff. Not that, you know, I'm all about doing good things for people, but it's just, I'm not out here trying to like figure out a way to change a diagnosis for somebody specifically. If something fun happens and your brain is like, oh, I didn't know I could just do that, that's more where I'm coming from. That's more my speed. I will also say that the sweater is kind of warm, and I have all these ice packs. You guys might think I'm joking because I talk about them a lot, but I don't think I've ever shown. I have like 7 ice packs in here with me right now. Is it too much? No, because I'm still pretty warm. Anyway, they're all like over me. So, how else are things going? So, Florida's winter is kind of here. Again, it's like we had a false winter start a few weeks ago, and now it's kind of back, which I'm delighted about. I have stuff to do in the attic that I cannot do when it is 130 degrees up there or more. So I might be able to get it done this time of year. I'm really hoping it stays like in the 60s so I can accomplish some of these things. Anyway, ice packs for the win. All the ice packs. If I had like an ice pack suit, that would be pretty cool. But that would be good. Anyway. In other news, we had a little glitch. And by that I mean the Mindless Banter folks, we posted a non-edited version of, I think it's episode number 4. So episode number 4 of Mindless Banter is out. If you would like to check that out, go ahead. And episode number 5 will also be released a little bit sooner. So what happened with episode number 4 is that it had gotten edited, and then what got released was just DJ talking. So I would like to thank the person who alerted me to that, saying, hey, I think something's wrong. Something was wrong. You were right. So we fixed it. We corrected it. It's back up to how it should be. Yeah, and the attics, at least my attic here, is like a tiny crawl space type thing. And we don't store anything up there. When we moved into this house, there was an air conditioning unit that functioned in the garage, but there was also one that didn't function in the attic, and they just left the old one there. I don't know why. Like, clean up as you go. They never heard of that, I guess. So it was kind of bizarre. So hi, Hannes. And everybody, John and Lycan, it's nice to see you here. So thanks for being here. All right. So I'm going to ask, if you're in the chat, what other types of things that happen in a session might bring you really deeply down? Because I've done a bunch of sessions with like more traditional deepeners. I'll talk about what some of those are. So like one of my favorite ones actually combines a couple of things all at once, but you imagine that you see like a shiny silver ball, right? Like shiny silver ball, right? So you see this shiny silver ball, only it's like pretty big. And someone just picks it up and throws it over the edge of the cliff that you happen to be standing on as safely as you can. Maybe there's a sturdy fence rail that you're looking over. I don't know. But the shiny thing catches the light, and as it drops, you notice all the striations in the cliff wall, in the wall against that you're looking at across the river, because there's a river at the bottom, and maybe as you look down, you can see the river whooshing by, and the ball keeps dropping, and you keep dropping with it. Finger snaps and shiny things. Yeah, shiny things are so great, aren't they? Like, this is I don't know if I've shown this to you before. It's like a little mirror. It's gotten cut pretty scratched. It's meant to be attached to the back of my phone, but it just pulls off, and I don't know if it's charged or not, but it is in fact it's not charged right now. It is in fact a ring light, so that when you record with your phone, you can like you can move it around. So if you're recording from the front, you can sort of see yourself while you're recording, and you have the light that shines on you. Or if you're recording this way, that's where the light shines. Anyway, I really like it. It's great fun. But I have actually sort of knocked it off accidentally in places. But I don't mind just holding shiny things up. So you probably know this, that I don't mind holding shiny things up. And I'm happy to snap and toss shiny things up as well. So it's like, where's the best shiny aspect of this? I can put on this other little light. So I've had all my little gear today, right? So I also have this little tiny light, which just has a push button, and it changes colors. I don't know if you can really see the colors that change the things. But so it's, you know, fun to like use that to shine on. Oh, stairs really knocks you out falling. So I think it's absolutely fascinating that in person, if you do hypnosis sessions in person, and you have the opportunity to fall into trance, I absolutely advise you to take it because it is such a powerful sensation for people. So just imagine that you are, say, surrounded by a bunch of people, right? And they're all like shoulder to shoulder, so they're really close, and you're in the middle. So maybe there's like 6 or 8 people, and you're in the middle, and then they start like shoving you with their bodies. So one of these lovely kinesthetic sensations that happens is just like so good, but like all these people just like shoving you back and forth. So they like move together as this thing. It's called the bell clapper. So you're the person in the middle as the bell clapper, and we just all shove you around, and you do your very best to ragdoll. And then eventually, usually what happens is that you kind of like get lowered to the ground with this one. But like I've done a whole bunch where somebody is standing behind you, and or a whole bunch of people are standing behind you, either like directly behind, or you have like 6 people, 3 on each side in a soft surface, and they'll like, you know, and then like the hypnotist comes at your forehead, and you just keep looking and 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 keep looking, and people go like that. Not everyone goes like that. Some people like are afraid to fall. They don't like it. They're too good to go into trance. I don't know. I mean, that's probably cruel of me, because some people just may not want to fall, but then why go up there and volunteer? I don't know. But falling is super cool. It feels amazing. Like the act of falling and then falling into trance, it absolutely requires an amount of trust. So you need to know that you're going to either be falling on something that is soft and safe for you to fall, and you're not going to hurt yourself, or somebody's going to catch you. I also have done some where I'm facing the person, sort of facing the person. So like I'm at like a 90 degree to them, and I'm using like I'm running my hand down their back or down their arms, and at some point in time, I've forgotten how to do this because I haven't just done this very often recently, because there's been very limited in-person contact. I think maybe an uncon about falling into trance would be a lot of fun. I think that could be a good time for that, like a short 15-20 minute thing, and people can play around with that. Anyway, we'll see what goes on with that. But yeah, so falling into trance is so much fun. And I think I've had people come up and tell me, even skeptical people come up and tell me later that they didn't absolutely think that they were going to be able to go into trance. And then the moment they fell, like it changed everything. And I think that moment of learning, of understanding, of clarity that you can absolutely do it is just delightful. It's very exciting for me. Yeah, for shaking your head makes it worse. Oh, I can't imagine why. I mean, like if you were shaking your head because I was going like this, that would be one thing, right? You're just trying to catch the shiny. It's not shiny the whole way, is it? I have to like slightly change the trajectory or something like that to catch the light. And you can see all the reflection of my amazing monitor here. Super big, so I think I'd have to go more slowly. There's things on there that you can like see and catch. Anyway, so thank you all very much for being here and giving me the inspiration to do shiny things and negative numbers. So hopefully this trance will be a deep trance, and hopefully also it will be a little surprising to you, right? Because, well, that's my hope, that it's just a little surprising for you. Don't mind me with the ice packs. It's quite toasty in here. All right. So if you would like to, perhaps you can give yourself the ability to get comfortable. You can get comfortable, right? because it feels really good to get comfortable, to feel yourself dropping and sinking into your chair or against your pillow in your bed or on the sofa. I don't know where you are. You got to tell me where you are. You don't have to tell me where you are. Doesn't matter. It's fine. So normally, I just want to say that if you happen to get interrupted with an ad, I'm sorry, first of all. They show up at odd random times, and I don't think it's the same for everybody. They're supposed to be at sort of a set time, and I try to do a whole bunch of talking before that happens. So if you happen to have an ad in the middle, let yourself just hang out. You know, if it's not the sound of my voice and you're in the middle of a trance, your brain can go, oh, we can ignore that. I wonder how well your brain can ignore any other sounds you hear, unless it's an emergency while you're deeply in trance. And for however long it lasts for, perhaps you can notice that it's just easier and better to just go, oh, I can stay in this position. I can absolutely feel how nice it is to just be here and to hang out. And then Lee's voice is going to return, and that'll be just fine. So let yourself do that. Let yourself give in to the trance. You can ignore anything that's not the sound of my voice unless it's actually an emergency. And then when the sound of my voice comes back, you can find yourself dropping even deeper down. You can treat any interruptions as though they're fractionation, right? Like that's one of the delightful things about hypnosis, that your brain both can turn down your hearing or give you selective hearing. So years ago, I was at a party with my then submissive, and she had a trigger which was deep earplugs, and basically what that meant was that when that was on, nothing else would bother her. Like literally the only sound she could hear was the sound of my voice. And we did that. I mean, it was great. We had done it before already, I think, but the great thing about that was that some other woman at this party kept trying to call her over, and she couldn't hear her. She actually did, like, we went over there once, and she and some other guy were, like, trying to steal my submissive away. Kind of bizarre. It's bad form, honestly. It's not good behavior. Keep your hands off. If you're invited in, wonderful. You don't take people's toys. That's just, you were not raised right. You could have raised yourself as an adult, honestly, lady, but you chose not to. But the deep earplugs thing still stands. So you can absolutely turn your volume to selective hearing in your head so that you only hear one voice. Everything else around you doesn't matter, again, unless it's an emergency. And it can be very, very helpful for your brain to just realize that. Anyway, we got a good laugh of this. Like years later, I'm getting a good laugh over that. And especially because the idea that you could turn somebody's hearing off so that they could literally just hear you. And it was selective. It was for that particular event. We didn't use it all the time. But it can be very comforting for some people to not hear a sound or to not feel a sensation. So being able to adjust those things in someone's mind is very helpful. And I think it's great. More of that. I think more of that would be very useful. Okay, so you're comfy. You know what to do if you see or hear an ad, which is to say you can just ignore it and then wait for the sound of my voice to come back. Even if you have to like open your eyes and click a skip thing, feel free to do that. You can stay in trance and do that. I have faith in you. So in the meantime, as you find yourself getting comfy, maybe your eyes are open and you're fixated on something, and maybe your eyes are closed. I don't know, I can't see you. And you don't have to see me either. As long as you can hear the sound of my voice, you can notice how simple it is to find yourself dropping into a very deep sleep. But perhaps you can take that notion of that shiny silver ball that I talked about earlier. Maybe you need something shiny to help you. Perhaps, you can imagine that it just gets tossed over the edge and it starts to fall. And maybe you notice as it falls that you find yourself falling and dropping really quickly, or maybe you just meander your way down. I don't know. Can I just keep doing that in a way that's meaningful for your brain if your eyes are open? Because they might be open. I don't know. I get to look at things in reverse, and I have to say that my brain doesn't always remember exactly what I'm doing every single time. But however you find yourself doing it, however you find yourself dropping deeply into trance, I know that you can find yourself in a place where at some point in time, as you imagine that shiny thing dropping, as you feel your brain succumbing and surrendering to being in trance, that all of this can just feel a little bit better and better. Eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter. You can trance deeply and powerfully either way. And as you find yourself in that state, perhaps you can imagine that you are all of a sudden, if you saw that shine, that you are, struck with this need to go down and get that silver ball, which fell in the river. And maybe it got stuck like in a little eddy of water held in by sticks at the shore, and you can see it. So you take the stairs down, right? Can you imagine that there's some hand-carved, hand-hewn stone steps from the top, and you just keep going down. I don't know how many stairs there are, but you were at the top, right? But maybe the top is just 0. So you find yourself going down that first step, and that's -1, right? And -2, -3. You can count. You can count on your own, -4, or with me, -5, -6, -7. I don't know how many stairs there are, -8, -9, -10, but there's probably a lot. -11, -12, -13, -14, -15, -16, -17, -18, -19, -20. Now, I don't know where you are yet. You're not at the bottom. You're not really at that point where you can grab that silver ball yet. But maybe you can still look over the edge of the railing where the stairs are. And maybe you realize that there's quite a ways to go. There's quite a ways to go. There's a lot of number of steps. You've only gone down 20 steps. You're at -20. Can you keep going further and farther? Do you want to just keep looking at that shiny silver thing winking in the swirling eddy at the current by the shore? Or do you find yourself knowing that you need to go down more steps? -21, -22, -23, -24. And the more you find yourself dropping down those stairs, the better it feels. -25, -26, -27, -28, -29, -30. I'm not sure how deeply in trance we have ever gone in a session like this. Usually I use them at the end, but you're going down very deeply in the middle of the session. And everything about going down or going up or wherever you end up, like all of these things allow you to have a change of perspective. And of course, I'm going to tell you this, even though I probably don't have to tell you this. The deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the deeper you go. So -31, -32, -33, -34, -35, -36, -37, -38, -39, -40. You're getting pretty close, right? You're getting pretty close to that river's edge. You feel so safe. You feel so comfortable. You're just dropping more and more deeply down into trance. -40 is a good place to be, to hang out for a little bit right now, right? -40. But you really want that shiny silver ball. It's glinting so nicely in the light as it moves around in that little swirling eddy by the shore of that river down below. So you're going to keep going. -41, -42, -43, -44, -45, -46, -47, -48, -49. Let yourself hang out there for a bit, because why not? And actually, you realize that you are on that new ground level right there. -49, you're at that new ground level. And you can just walk over There's no more rails. You can just walk over. You can see the ball in the water. Why don't you go ahead and grab that ball out of the water when it swirls around and comes close so you can grab it. You don't have to worry about falling in. If you need to, there can be someone there for you that can hold your hand and help you safely grab that out of the water if you have to lean in. But let your brain think about how easy it is to grab and how much you want to grab that. And as you find yourself grabbing that, it just becomes amazing to let your brain do that. You can find that your unconscious mind just really wanted to grab that it was so simple, that your brain says yes to grabbing that, and then you're so deeply in trance, right? You're so very deeply in that state of trance. And the more deeply in that state of trance you are, the more powerful it becomes. So let yourself just keep dropping and keep sinking and keep sliding. Let your unconscious mind know that as you hold that ball in your hands, you probably move it around. You flip it over. You spin it and you twirl it in your hands. You roll it between the two, or maybe you're fancy with tricks. I don't know. However you find yourself doing it, you can sink down more deeply into trance. And the more you drop deeply into trance, the better it feels. The more your unconscious mind just craves hearing and feeling the sound of my voice and that ball in your hands, and it's so shiny, and maybe it's cool, but maybe it feels like it's metal and it warms up as you touch it, and maybe it cools down very quickly, so anytime you move to a new spot, it definitely feels cooler than it was just a moment ago wherever you were holding on to it. And your brain knows that it's so easy to just keep dropping. It's so easy for you to just keep being in that state of surrender. You don't absolutely have to be anywhere else other than right here, dropping down more deeply into trance, imagining yourself staring at shiny things and completely giving in to how very good it feels to be exactly where you are. And the more you find yourself in that state of dropping down easily and powerfully, the more wonderful it becomes. So we're going to do something extra special. Why not? I don't know how extra special it will be for your brain, but your brain can think about how good it feels to absolutely surrender and give into being so deeply down, imagining the shiny things. We're going to give you a little elevator. The elevator itself is captivating. The doors are polished to a mirror finish. So you hold that ball in your hands and you find yourself walking over to the elevator. And the elevator just continues. The doors open, you step in. There are no buttons you have to push. It just takes you down. But the elevator also is fascinating because it's not just an elevator that goes down. It also goes sideways. And so you get in and you can feel it. Your body perhaps sways back and forth as the elevator moves. Do you ever go on a subway, that kind of train? And you know that as you go around corners or bends, your body sways back and forth with a movement. Maybe your body is doing a little bit of that right now. This elevator moves pretty quickly. It goes down. It drops even further and farther. And it just feels incredible. And you find yourself moving gently, swaying back and forth with the idea, the motion, the movement, and you drop. And you feel how good that is to just keep dropping and dropping. Everything about that begins to feel a little bit better and a little bit more amazing than it was. So you can allow your unconscious mind to keep surrendering to that, to keep giving into that. Because the more you find yourself in that state of giving into it, the more you surrender to the feeling, to the state, to how good it feels, to what you're hearing, to how everything inside you just wants to come together and sink down more powerfully into trance. You can think about how good it feels to be so deeply down, and then let's find that you're at a shore. But it's a different shore, because you've taken quite a ride. You've gone down and out and in, and your brain just knows that you have gotten to a new place. And you see this shore, and there's a really cool exhibit there. So you can go down some more stairs, or you can take another elevator. This is an exhibit that you really wanted to see, but it takes you down under the sea, but it's completely safe. It's not a submarine or anything like that. It's simply a glass-walled exhibit that allows the sea to seem as though it's right there. So you keep in You step in, and there's no steps here, but you enter this, it's like a tunnel that just goes down. But you'll notice that with every new step that you take in your brain, you find yourself still counting. Were you still at negative 49? Have you gone down deeper? If you didn't, then this is negative 50, and you can just keep stepping in and going down further and farther. Your brain can just notice how good it feels for you to find yourself going down further and farther. And of course, the more you find yourself in that state of going down further and farther, the more amazing you feel. As you find yourself just gently walking down that slope, looking at all the crazy underwater plants, fish, whatever else you might see. Maybe you get to see an octopus that is changing, scuttling around and changing what it looks like. Those are my favorite. I don't know what your favorite is. What's your favorite undersea creature? Do you have one? It's definitely octopus for me. But let your brain just think about how good it feels to see what you see and to keep taking all those new steps. And with every new step, you find yourself going down deeper and deeper. You find yourself counting in your brain to that new step that you take, negative 50, negative 55, negative 60, however you go. You're counting in your own head right now, wherever you've gotten to. And it just feels so much more amazing to allow your unconscious the delight of realizing that you're taking yourself down more deeply as you listen to the sound of my voice, as you find yourself imagining whatever delights are on the other side of that glass panel, and you just keep walking down more and more powerfully. Your brain just wants you to go as deeply in trance as you possibly can. So allow your unconscious, while you go down as deeply into trance as you possibly can, while you keep taking those steps down in this particular location, where you can see the sea and where you can notice all the crazy creatures that are there. At some point in time, you can find yourself noticing how good it feels to be right there. And maybe you imagine yourself floating in the water with all those creatures. I don't know. However deeply you find yourself going, let your brain just keep counting. Let yourself just keep dropping. Let everything about the way that your body feels be as comfortable and delightful as possible. The deeper you go, the better it feels. The better it feels, the deeper you go. Let that just keep happening inside your brain. And as that happens in your brain, let that mantra just keep taking you to the places that you want and need to be. And the more you find yourself in those places that you want to be, the more amazing it feels, the more delighted you are to see whatever it is that your unconscious mind wants you to pay attention to hear the sound of my voice, to hear other sounds around you if they're important, or to let go of them if they're not. And the way that your unconscious mind just keeps responding, the better it feels, the more amazing it is. The deeper you go, you sink and drop and drop and drop. And every single time you're in that state, you're in that space, your brain just really appreciates it more fully, more thoroughly. Maybe at some point in time you realize that you think you see like divers, like human divers down there looking at the creatures in the open water. Maybe you find yourself wanting to join them. Maybe you don't. If you wanted to, you could. If you didn't want to, you don't have to. But you keep going down, you keep sinking and sliding down, and everything about you sliding and sinking and dropping down more deeply into trance begins to be a little bit more compelling. It compels you to feel even better. It compels you to open your eyes and your mind to what you see and what you think you would like to see next, the things you find yourself wanting to respond to and how you can find yourself hearing them, and everything about that can come and just slap you, hit you all at once in the very best of ways and make you feel so good. When you find yourself at the end of this journey, remember you can always just return anytime you wanted to. There's going to be another elevator at the end. And you're going to get in that elevator. Again, it's shiny, it's compelling, it feels really good, but the inside of this one is kind of velvet lined. The inside of this one is velvet lined. And perhaps you find yourself sitting on the sofa that is also velvet lined in this elevator, and it gently begins to bring you back up. You can feel a little bit of swaying, but this one is literally just going up, not going sideways at all. It's literally just going up, and it feels so very comfortable, perhaps as though you're almost on a cloud type surface. Not a literal cloud, those aren't that comfortable. but something that is supportive and yet super soft and envelops you and makes you feel really cared for, really happy, really wonderful. But just because you're going up now, let's let you keep those good feelings that you felt when you dropped down more deeply into trance. Your brain just knows you want to bring those back with you. So it's going to wrap you up in those feelings, and the velvet's going to help you keep all those good feelings as you find yourself going up. So however deeply down you go, we're going to start coming up now. And you're going to go up as carefully as you possibly can. But the thing is that when you find yourself coming up, at some point in time, you're going to need to take a little break. So find yourself coming up, say, to that -50. Find yourself going right to that place in your brain. Because I don't know how deeply down you got, but find yourself going there and then hang out for a little bit. Like you're coming up from diving. You want to make sure that you take care of yourself on the way. So feel how good that is to notice that as you find yourself coming up, you get to hang out. Perhaps perhaps the elevator doors open and there's like a delightful club there, and that couch that you were in just sort of wheels itself out of those elevator doors, and you just hang out. And there's this cool underground club, and someone offers you something to drink or to eat. Someone comes over and sits down next to you and holds your hand. Somebody stands behind you and gives your shoulders a little massage, if you're okay with that. Whatever it happens, you can imagine anything you want. And then you hang out there for a while. And then when you've gotten used to that, you go back in. Everyone just says goodbye. The couch gets wheeled back into the elevator, and you find yourself coming back up again. -47, -43, -41, -38, -35. It doesn't really matter, right? Your brain just knows how good it feels for you to know that you can be in that place, for you to understand how very good it feels for you to be in that place. Your brain realizes that as you find yourself coming up, it just becomes better and better. It just becomes easier and easier for your unconscious mind to go, oh, now we're coming up a little bit. -32, -29, -26. It goes up just a smidge more, and then does the same thing. Takes you to a new place that you like to be, that's super comfy, super cozy, gives you what you want. Maybe this place is a library filled with all sorts of entertaining books, crackling fire, cups of hot chocolate or brandy, whichever you prefer, something else, tea. Maybe somebody's reading from one of those books, and it feels really good for your brain to hear that. You can hear it murmur off in the distance, and you can still hear the sound of my voice. And as your brain thinks about that and makes that happen, let your unconscious mind just keep saying yes and keep giving in. Let your unconscious mind just keep feeling how very good it is for your unconscious mind, your brain, to just go, yes, this is a nice place. And you hang out here for a little bit until you find yourself coming back again and again. Go back into the elevator, it goes up more. 22, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, -9, -8, -7, -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0. But now you're just back on that ground floor, right? You're just at 0. So let's bring you up gently, easily, wonderfully. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bringing up all those good feelings with you so you can feel just as good as you did when you were down there. 5, 6. Opening up your mind, opening up your eyes. 7. Moving, stretching a little bit. 8, 9, and 10. Wide awake. If you need more time to be here, to come back up, you can have it. But notice that you come back up in the next minute or so feeling absolutely wonderful. Let your unconscious mind just revel in how good it felt to be so deeply in trance. Let your unconscious mind delight in how good it can feel right now to be present, feeling so much better than you were. Allow your unconscious mind to feel what it's like when you can go from so deeply in trance to so wide awake now in a way that becomes really compelling, because you know you can always drop more deeply down whenever you want to, but now's the time for you to be fully present, for you to be fully wide awake, and for you to enjoy being in that state, for you to feel really good to be in that state, perhaps for you to find yourself becoming more and more energized at being in that state. And the more you find yourself in that state, the more amazing it becomes. And as you find yourself in that state of feeling more energized, more energetic, feeling really good, perhaps your brain has like a little tiny corner of it that remembers something about that journey that felt phenomenal for you. I don't know what that was, but let your brain come back with something. If you feel like sharing it, go right ahead. And otherwise, allow your unconscious mind to just delight in how good it feels to be coming up more and more wide awake, energetically. I'm going to count to 20. Feel yourself experiencing what that's like to come back again and to be made to be up again, because it feels great, right? 1, 2, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, more and more energy. It feels great to be here. 18, 19, and 20, even more wide awake than you were before. Let yourself hold on to that. Feel how good that is to be so alert and so alive. I am not sorry that I keep introducing all the things that I love to people when I talk. But thank you very much for participating. Yeah, diving down, 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 right? Isn't that fun? I will tell you a story. So a long time ago, I wanted to learn to scuba dive. So I went out to this house that had a pool, and that's where, you know, we did like classes, and then we would go practice with all the gear that we had for the session, right? We had to like buy some of our things, and then they had others that they let us use. So I took this class. At the final day, we're out in Cape Ann, which is just north of Boston. And it was October, and it was pretty cold. So we have to like get all our gear on, and we all had partners who were supposed to help us put our things on, and, you know, to make it safe for us, right? So my partner, you know, it's hard for you to see all the stuff. You've got like 90 pounds of gear on at least, I don't know. But my partner didn't put my stuff on appropriately, and I started getting like air in places where I was not supposed to get air. I guess it was leaking, and actually technically water was getting in and air was escaping, so I had to come back out. So I'm like upset, but whatever. We have 2 dives. I can still pass my thing. And then on the next one, I do not know what happened, but I had a panic attack. I don't think I've ever had one except at that moment, because I kept rising up. It was like, did I not have enough weight on me? I don't know. But I started rising up and up and up, and eventually like somebody came and escorted me back to the shore. And that was almost weirder, because we had gotten out quite a ways. There were lobsters at the bottom, and I think somebody had like grabbed a lobster. I don't know if that was legal or not. I don't remember. And they were like going to take them home for dinner or something. But it was fascinating, because you could see the lobsters on the bottom. So I'd gotten quite a ways out and quite a ways down, and then I just started rising up. It was sad. So I never actually got my scuba certificate, and I always said that if I was going to go do that again, I was only going to do it in warm water, because it was so cold that day. It was like 40-degree water, and, you know, the air was about the same, I think. It was not very pleasant. Anyway, that's my story about my non-story about scuba diving. So thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed the trance, and I hope that the trance enjoys you too. I hope that's good for you. If you'd like to do anything in the future, please just leave a comment. I would appreciate it if you would like/subscribe if you haven't already done those things. And I will be back next Sunday doing something similar and yet very different. So I will talk to you again. Have a great day. Thank you for letting me know what you saw. I always love knowing what people experience while they're in trance. So, bye.